The second Živa Award ceremony. The Živa Award, award for the best Slavic museum.
The Slavic goddess Živa, also Živia, Siva, Sieba, or Razivia, represents a principle of life, longevity, youthfulness, beauty, mildness, vitality, and fertility. These are the attributes that should describe Slavic heritage as well. The Živa Award has been established in 2012 on the initiative of an expert project group from the member countries of the Forum of Slavic Cultures. With the award, we would like to recognize excellence in the sector of movable and immovable heritage in a special region in Europe, promote best practices in the tangible cultural heritage, and also stimulate the exchange of knowledge and experience throughout our countries and beyond. We would also like to encourage further exemplary initiatives through the power of example. The Živa Award Judge Team 2014 consisted of 10 experts from the Slavic countries and from the European Museum Academy. The judge team has visited all participating institutions in situ. At their evaluations, they were looking especially for the outstanding and creative use of collections, combined with an innovative, interpretive approach. They were following the special 2014 criteria: creativity, good use of resources, leadership, attention to the visitor, openness, and storytelling.
The judges of the Živa Award jury in 2015 are Mr. René Capovin, Italy. He is a researcher of the Luigi Micheletti Foundation and the head of the project office of the MUSEL, Museum of Industry and Labor of Brescia in Italy. Mrs. Biljana Brajovic, Montenegro. She is the director of the public institution Museum, Gallery and Library in Budva, Montenegro. Mrs. Lidia Nekocevic, Croatia. She is the director of the Ethnographic Museum of Istria. Mr. Pavel Dosha, Czech Republic. He is an experienced manager and scientist in the field of marketing, cultural heritage, history, and museum studies. Mrs. Irena Duksina, Russian Federation. She is the Deputy Director of the State Museum and Exhibition Center Rosizo in the Russian Federation. Mrs. Neda Knežević, Serbia. She is the Director of the Museum of Yugoslav History in Belgrade. Mrs. Simonida Milkovic, Macedonia. She is the President of the Macedonian National Committee of the International Committee of Museums and a member of the Committee for Education and Cultural Action. Mr. Massimo Negri, Italy. He is the Director of the European Museum Academy and Scientific Director of the Executive Master Course in European Museology at the IULM University in Milan, Italy. Mrs. Andrea Richter, Slovenia. She is the Director of the Forum of Slavic Cultures and the President of the European Museum Academy. Mr. Branislav Svetozarevic, Macedonia. He is the Director of the Museum of the Macedonian Struggle in Skopje in Macedonia. Mrs. Sarita Vujkovic, Bosnia and Herzegovina. She is the Director of the Museum of Contemporary Art of the Republic of Serbia in Banja Luka and the President of the ICOM National Committee, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Mrs. Nina Zdravic-Polic, Slovenia. She is the Museum Advisor, the Deputy Director and Head of Communications at the Slovene Ethnographic Museum in Ljubljana, Slovenia. 14 museums and galleries from 9 different Slavic countries have applied for the Živa Award in 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the second Živa Award candidates for the Best Slavic Museum in 2015. The Franciscan Museum and Art Gallery Gorica from Livno in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Franciscan Museum and Art Gallery Gorica, Livno, is located in Livno, the center of the Herceg-Bosnian County, and represents one of the leading museum institutions in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The museum was founded in 1996 on the basis of the older monastic collection, whose origins date back to the late 19th century. Established by a contract between the municipality of Livno and the Franciscan monastery in Livno, it represents a unique example of a public museum institution. The aim was both to protect the previously collected material and for the newly founded museum to continue its role as a modern, innovative, and interdisciplinary museum offering open access to the public. The institution is a complex museum with different collections: the artistic, archaeological, ethnological, sacral, numismatic, and philatelic collection, as well as the collection of weaponry and military equipment. The Franciscan Museum and Art Gallery Gorica is not a static museum, and with time, new collections are formed. The Art Gallery Dobrev from Sliven in Bulgaria. The Art Gallery Dobrev is an authoritative cultural, artistic, and educational center both in the region and the country. The gallery was founded in 1905. It has 4 separate buildings with a total exhibition area of more than 3,000 square meters and more than 2,000 square meters of storage areas. The gallery is proud of the exhibitions like Western European Graphics 19th to the 20th Century that includes 303 originals of world-famous artists like Manet, Delacroix, Chagall, Kandinsky, Goya, Millet, and others. Contemporary Bulgarian art of the 19th and 20th century, one of the most precious collections in Bulgaria, Christian art icons, canvases from Jerusalem, and church utensils. Every year, the gallery organizes more than 40 exhibitions, concerts with both Bulgarian and international musicians, and with local professional orchestras and bands, local schools for children, and educational programs. The gallery actively collaborates with foreign cultural institutions, embassies, and artists representing different countries. The Visitor Center Interactive Museum of Industry, Gabrovo, from Gabrovo in Bulgaria. The IMI is a one-of-a-kind in the Balkans, prominent for its stylish 120-year-old architecture, contemporary design, and rich thematic content, based on a large variety of modern technology and attractive audio-visual applications. It represents the abundant industrial heritage of Gabrovo, offering a thrilling journey through time in 3 epochs: the Industrial Age, Socialism, and the present. The sophisticated interior decors are theme-bound and complemented by virtual guides, visual, sound, and light effects. The 3D projection hall offers movies, revealing the most attractive sights in the surroundings. The museum equipment, with its 3D mapping technology, offers the possibility of making challenging night illumination projections on the facade of the building. Located in the very heart of downtown, it is easily accessed by both residents and visitors. Being a vital part of the integrated tourist product and landmarks of Gabrovo, the IMI is a focal point of modern cultural enhancement and social inclusion. The Archaeological Museum in Zagreb, from Zagreb in Croatia. The Archaeological Museum in Zagreb is an important cultural institution and the archaeological center of Zagreb and Croatia. It is both a cultural museum institution and an important research center on the state level. The AMZ continues the legacy of the National Museum formed in 1846, the oldest museum institution in Zagreb. The rich archaeological collections kept at the museum are, naturally, its most important feature, and most of those are exhibited as part of the museum's permanent exhibition, arranged thematically by museum departments and their respective collections. The museum collections, today consisting of more than 450,000 varied artifacts and monuments, have been gathered over the years from many different sources. Most of this material in the first years and decades of museum activity was acquired through purchase or gifts, and a major role was played by the museum representatives who were active in the field throughout Croatia. Today, field excavations are the main means of gathering such material and data. The Museum of Ancient Glass Zadar, from Zadar in Croatia. The Museum of Ancient Glass was established in Zadar in 2006 due to the extraordinary richness of the glass archaeological finds in the area. It was opened for the public in May 2009. The museum contains one of the premium collections of Roman glassware outside Italy, retrieved from archaeological sites across Dalmatia. The glass-blowing workshop in the museum serves for educational and experimental purposes. The Museum of Ancient Glass in Zadar is a unique archaeological institution in Croatia and in the world, specialized in the research, conservation, and presentation of ancient glass objects. Through museum projects such as glass blowing and glass bead making, as well as archaeological research, conservation and restoration, presentation of glass artifacts, and their scientific analysis and publications, they are trying to preserve the rich cultural heritage kept in the museum and make it available to everyone interested. The Tiflological Museum from Zagreb in Croatia. The Tiflological Museum, from Tiflos, Greek for blind, is a museum specialized in education, rehabilitation, and museology. It deals with various issues related to the blind and the visually impaired, and in line with its mission statement, promotes tolerance, humanity, and respect for differences. It was founded in 1952, and in the last 10 years it has also dealt with the issues of the disabled and human relations in society in general. The current permanent exhibition, opened in 2008, has been fully adapted to the disabled to become an interactive area where visitors can actively partake in visual, auditory, and tactile experiences. The adaptation has thus opened new forms of communication with the public, a dialogue with the visually impaired and the entire society. This socially active museum, envisaged as a museum for all, has been developed to encourage individuals to participate in its activities regardless of individual differences. The Museum of Macedonian Struggle from Skopje in Macedonia. The museum is located in the city center of the capital of the Republic of Macedonia, within a city area that represents a kind of cultural zone. It is surrounded by centuries-old cultural and historical heritage, starting from the Neolithic until the modern age. The museum was officially opened in 2011. The complex of the institution is a history museum whose concept consists of two museums, the VMRO Museum and the Museum of the Victims of the Communist Regime, including 13 departments situated on several levels. The exhibition provides the visitor with an overview of the historical events, processes, characters from the 19th and 20th century, accompanied by authentic collections of weapons, documents, newspapers, medals, decorations, documentary materials, as well as wax figures, custom-made mask scenes for the museum exhibition, ambient scenes enhanced with audio-visual effects that take the visitor on a journey through time. The past comes to life directly and authentically via the well-documented records. The exhibition concludes with a dialogue between the past and future, united by the common thread of liberty and peace. The Maritime Museum of Montenegro from Kotor in Montenegro. The Maritime Museum of Montenegro in Kotor was set up through a gradual development of the original collection by the Boca Marine fraternity, established around 1880 and opened to the public in 1900. In 1938, it was refurbished and opened on the first floor of the building, where the museum is situated today. It was not until after the Second World War, in the period from 1949 to 1952, that the whole building, an early 18th century Baroque palace of the noble Gurgurina family, was completely renovated and fit to serve the needs of the Maritime Museum. The devastating earthquake of April 15, 1979, halted the museum's activities as the building suffered major damage. From 1982 to 1984, the museum underwent reconstruction, conservation, and restoration work, and after 5 years of renovation, it was finally able to resume its activities. The 3 floors hold items related to Boca Bay's rich maritime history, such as ship models, portraits of famous captains, navigational instruments, ship equipment, traditional dress, antique furniture, and a vast collection of weapons. The Leo Tolstoy Museum from Yasnaya Polyana in the Russian Federation. Yasnaya Polyana is one of the most popular and most visited museums in Russia. It is an authentic, beautiful, and hospitable museum estate. Each grove or glade here is linked with Leo Tolstoy's life and works. And it's not just history. The natural life of the old country estate is still in full swing here. While devoting attention to the museum's traditional activities, Yasnaya Polyana is also developing in new directions. For example, it is creating alternative types of tourist programs, such as cultural tourism based in Yasnaya Polyana, as well as beyond its borders, realizing its potential in the area of education, giving new life to folk traditions and crafts, broadening its advertising and publishing activities, introducing new technology, and undertaking joint efforts with foreign countries. The purpose of the museum's projects is to make available the heritage of Leo Tolstoy, as well as to provide information on the unknown traditions of his family and attract new target groups. This all aims to promote the museum's activities not only in Russia, but also in the world. The Russian Museum of Ethnography from St. Petersburg in the Russian Federation. The history of the Russian Museum of Ethnography began in 1902 when the ethnographic department of the Alexander III Russian Museum was established. Its mission was to study and disseminate the knowledge of the ethno-cultural diversity and rich cultural heritage of the peoples living in the Russian Empire. In 1934, the ethnographic department was reorganized as an independent institution, the State Museum of Ethnography. In 1992, the museum was renamed into the Russian Museum of Ethnography. Today, it is one of the largest ethnographic museums in the world and boasts artifacts and photographs which represent the cultural heritage of 157 peoples. The entire area represented at the permanent exhibition embraces the geographical zones from the Arctic tundra of northern Europe and Siberia to the subtropics of Transcaucasia and deserts of Central Asia. It is the only museum in the world which has collections of all Slavic cultures. They include costumes, tools and utensils, jewelry, ritual, and cult objects. Some of them are unique and do not have analogies in any other ethnographic museum. The Museum of Yugoslav History from Belgrade in Serbia. The Museum of Yugoslav History preserves research and interprets the cultural heritage of the former country of Yugoslavia, with a special emphasis on the social history of the socialist period. It was founded in 1996 as a result of a merger between the Memorial Center Josip Broz Tito and the Museum of the Revolution of Yugoslav Nations and Ethnic Minorities. In 2013, it was declared an institution of national significance. The Museum of Yugoslav History's complex consists of three venues that used to be part of the Memorial Center Josip Broz Tito: the May 25th Museum, the House of Flowers, and the Old Museum. They are situated on the grounds of the official residence of Josip Broz Tito, 1892 to 1980, lifelong president of Yugoslavia, leader of the Communist Party, the anti-fascist movement, and the non-aligned movement. The largest part of the museum's collections is comprised of the gifts that Josip Broz received from other statesmen, prominent citizens, and peoples living in the country that he led. The Museum of the Považia region from Žilina in Slovakia. The Museum of the Považia region in Žilina was founded in 1942. It is situated in the area of the cultural monument Buratin Castle. The museum focuses on cultural heritage, art, and craft in northeastern Slovakia. It is a regional museum with two nationwide specializations: wirecraft and transportation history in Slovakia. In addition, it researches, documents, and presents several fields of science: geology, botany, zoology, history, archaeology, and ethnology of regional relevance. The museum currently manages 140,000 exhibits and carries out different research. It also administers other historical sites in Žilina, Strečno, Biča, Rajecke Teplice, Terhova, and Chichmani. The Museum of the Považia region in Žilina focuses on collecting, recording, protecting, and presenting historical artifacts to the public in various ways. Every exhibit is unique and special, created by its own history and further processed by experts whose activities are presented in various forms. The Museum in Sveti Anton from Sveti Anton in Slovakia. Sveti Anton lies in central Slovakia. The museum is situated in a manor house dating back to 1750, the original residence of the Kohary and Coburg families in the center of the Štiavnica Mountains. In the locality Banska Štiavnica and surroundings, which is inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The Kohary and Coburg families made an essential contribution in the history of the manor house. Here they concentrated beautiful pieces of artwork and crafts from various parts of the world from the 18th to the 20th centuries. The manor house has served as a museum since 1962. Currently, it is a museum of art, history, and hunting. The exhibition area covers about 2,900 square meters, and the museum owns more than 14,000 exhibits. The museum offers many exhibitions, lectures, concerts, theater performances, children competitions, and other activities, both for children and adults. Every year since 1991, we have celebrated St. Hubert Days at the first weekend of September. St. Hubert is considered to be the patron of all hunters. The Museum and Galleries of Ljubljana, from Ljubljana in Slovenia. The Museum and Galleries of Ljubljana is a creative and modern institution with close links to its environment. With its internationally comparable program, it paves the way for new concepts of museology and gallery work, while by offering a diverse and accessible program oriented towards quality, it outlines creative approaches to improving existing professional standards in this field. The institution is a place of synergy and learning, a platform offering new insights into our past, present, and future. Our audiences and collaborators, both local and foreign, contribute to creating a museum and galleries of the future. The Museum and Galleries of Ljubljana consist of the City Museum of Ljubljana with the Archaeological Park Imona, City Art Gallery, Jakopić Gallery, Užigalica Gallery, Tobačno 001 Cultural Center, the Bežigrad Galleries, and Jože Plečnik's House. By holding exhibitions and compiling collections of museum objects, of archive and library materials, and of other documentary materials, modern and contemporary works of art, as well as contemporary art practices, the institution provides public access to cultural goods and engages in international exchange. The Živa Award ceremony took place in the cultural capital of Russia, St. Petersburg, where the Živa Award jury handed nominations to all 14 candidates for the second Živa Award. The jury handed a special diploma for unusual interpretation to the Museum of Macedonian Struggle from Skopje in Macedonia. They also handed out 5 special recommendations: for leadership to the Museum and Galleries of Ljubljana, Slovenia; for creativity to the Museum of Ancient Glass, Zadar, Croatia; for openness to visitors, the Typological Museum from Zagreb, Croatia; for storytelling to the Maritime Museum of Montenegro from Kotor, Montenegro; and for the best use of resources to the Museum of Yugoslav History from Belgrade, Serbia. The jury announced that the winner of the Živa Award 2015 is the Leo Tolstoy Museum, Yasnaya Polyana, Russian Federation. The Živa sculpture was handed to the winner by Mrs. Andrea Richter, the director of the Forum of Slavic Cultures, Mrs. Tiana Palkoljevich-Bugarski, the director of the Gallery of Matica Srpska, the winner of the first Živa Award, and Mr. Pavel Dousha, the chairman of the Živa Award Jury 2015.